The Roman Empire once stood tall and powerful. Its glory was unmatched, a beacon of civilization. But beneath the surface, corruption festered like a wound. Greed seeped into the hearts of its leaders. Political power became a game of deceit. Trust eroded as betrayal became commonplace. Senators plotted against one another, seeking dominance. Loyalty vanished, replaced by ambition and self-interest. Emperors rose and fell in swift succession. Each new ruler brought chaos instead of stability. Citizens grew disillusioned as the government failed them. Basic needs were ignored while leaders enriched themselves. The military, once a symbol of strength, turned corrupt. Soldiers were more loyal to pay than to their country. Barbarians watched the empire weaken from the outside. They sensed an opportunity to strike. Internal conflicts distracted from external threats. Rome's once mighty legions struggled to defend their borders. Corruption spread like wildfire among the elite. No one was immune, even the highest offices were tainted. The economy suffered as corruption drained resources. Taxes soared while services dwindled, leaving citizens in despair. Public trust crumbled as scandals erupted. The empire's foundation shook with each betrayal. Families turned against each other in the struggle for power. Alliances formed and dissolved in a heartbeat. Each assassination led to more chaos and fear. The streets of Rome echoed with whispers of treason. The populace grew restless, longing for stability. But each new leader only deepened the divide. As the empire splintered, so did its identity. The once unified Rome became a patchwork of factions. Barbarians, emboldened by Rome's weakness, advanced. They breached the walls, a sign of the empire's decline. A once great civilization crumbled under its own weight. Corruption had sown the seeds of its destruction. History would remember Rome as a cautionary tale. A warning of how power can corrupt even the greatest empires. Corruption seeped into the very heart of Rome. Officials grew greedy, prioritizing wealth over duty. Power struggles ignited fierce rivalries among leaders. Each sought dominance, weakening the empire further. Senators betrayed their own for personal gain. Trust eroded, leaving chaos in its wake. Military leaders rose, challenging the authority of emperors. Loyalty shifted like sand, alliances crumbled. Bribery became rampant in all levels of governance. The once proud justice system faltered under the weight of greed. Tax burdens increased, crushing the common citizens. They struggled to survive while elites thrived. Public services decayed, and infrastructure fell apart. Citizens lost faith in their leaders and the empire. Border defenses weakened as soldiers were pulled away. Invaders sensed vulnerability, ready to strike. Taxes funded lavish lifestyles for a few. The gap between rich and poor expanded dangerously. Political assassinations became a common occurrence. Fear replaced stability, turning allies into enemies. The economy faltered as trade routes deteriorated. Scarcity bred desperation and unrest among the populace. Crisis after crisis unfolded as corruption spiraled. The empire's foundations shook with every scandal. Rome's once mighty military became fractured. Soldiers fought for pay rather than loyalty to the empire. Emperors rose and fell with alarming speed. The throne became a game of chance, not merit. Civic pride dwindled as citizens felt abandoned. They watched their beloved Rome crumble into disarray. Cultural achievements faded into memory. Art and philosophy became luxuries no one could afford. In the chaos, the spirit of unity vanished. Division took root, breaking the empire apart. As external threats loomed, internal strife consumed Rome. The end was inevitable, a tragic fate sealed by greed. History would remember the fall of a giant. Once glorious, now a cautionary tale of power gone wrong. Corruption seeped into the heart of Rome. Officials prioritized wealth over duty. Power struggles erupted among the elite. Ambition overshadowed loyalty and integrity. Bribery became commonplace in politics. Trust eroded as greed took root. Generals vied for control of legions. Soldiers became pawns in a dangerous game. The Senate lost its influence and strength. Decisions were made in shadowy backrooms. Citizens grew disillusioned with their leaders. They felt abandoned in a time of need. Civil wars erupted across the empire. Families were torn apart by loyalty and betrayal. Barbarians sensed weakness in Rome. They began to invade, hungry for conquest. Taxation increased to fund the military. The poor suffered while the rich thrived. Public services crumbled under neglect. Infrastructure fell into disrepair and chaos. The economy spiraled into decline. Trade routes became unsafe and unreliable. Rival factions fought for supremacy. Unity became a distant memory in Rome. The once proud empire faced external threats. Walls that protected began to crumble. Citizens turned against each other. Divisions deepened in a once unified society. Leaders focused on personal gain. The greater good was forgotten in the chaos. As corruption spread, loyalty waned. The spirit of Rome faded into darkness. With each betrayal, the empire weakened. The final blow came from within. History would remember this downfall. A cautionary tale of power and greed. Hope flickered like a dying flame. The legacy of Rome was forever altered. The echoes of ambition lingered. A once great empire fell into ruin.